Welcome to another episode of Spoon Feeding Everyone Nothing But Happy Butterflies and Rainbows. I would never say anything that would make anybody sad. I welcome any random troll to leave whatever comments they want. And no matter how hateful, mean, inaccurate, or stupid they are, there will be no consequences whatsoever. I would never delete those comments or call them out in public because consequences would make the trolls sad. First up, we're going to go plant some trees. We do not play that kind of happy horseshit here. If you came here thinking this was that kind of video or that kind of channel, you are in the wrong place. And please, for the love of Xenu sitting in his golden throne, do not leave a comment complaining because honestly, and from the bottom of my heart, I do not care. Go save the world somewhere else. Today, I'm going to be going over the Retevis RB17V MURS 2-watt Walkie Talkie. If you don't know what MURS is, just the other day, I made a video, you can watch it here, explaining what MURS is and comparing it to GMRS and FRS. The short version of that video, if you're too busy to go watch it, is that MURS is very similar to GMRS, but more similar to FRS. You don't need a license to use a MURS radio, has a maximum output of 2 watts, and it's limited to only 5 channels. There's a lot of other differences. If you need more information, watch that video. The Retevis RB17V cost $49 for a set of 2. That means they cost roughly $25 a piece. They are on sale now. Affiliate link below. And Retevis did send me this set of radios for testing and for an honest review. Some manufacturers are afraid to send me anything because they know it will be honest. So Retevis must be feeling pretty confident about these radios. So let's see what's in the box. When you buy the Retevis RB17V, I'm not going to do an unboxing video because unboxing videos are stupid. I will debox the contents of the box so that you can see what comes in the box if you buy the Retevis RB17V. So when you purchase your set of 2 Retevis RB17V radios, in the box you will receive a manual, little user guide. We will talk more about this. You know I love talking about the user guides. I think one of the most important things other than the radio is the user guide. It shows how much the manufacturer cares. You will receive a charger. We'll talk more about that in a second. You will receive 2 RB17V radios. You will receive 2 charging cables, 2 battery clips that affix to the radios so that you can clip it to your belt and impress all the ladies, and 2 stylish wrist straps. All right, so let's talk about the radios. The first thing that I noticed, and one of the things that I like the most, is that this radio is very simple. It's only got 2 knobs. I'll go over what everything is, but it's only got 2 knobs. It has no display, no screen. It's a very simple radio, and that is one of the things that I like the most about it. So the radio, you've got your on and off.
Turn on the radio 5.
Did you hear that? Listen to him.
Turn on the radio 5.
Turn on the radio. On-off volume and channel selector. MURS only has 5 channels. You've got this alarm button. Retevis, I don't know why, and it's not just Retevis. Many of the manufacturers that make the lower cost radios put these alarm buttons on. It makes a stupid sound. Shit. Couldn't figure out how to turn it off. It makes a stupid sound. I don't think there's been ever a documented case of somebody actually making use of that alarm for the intended purpose. I think that alarm is used mostly by accident and by kids and dickheads just trying to be annoying. So it does do that it is very annoying. Why? Why bother? Retevis, use all that time and resources to do something else other than putting an alarm button on. But it has the alarm button. It has an antenna that is removable. The antenna has a SMA that's a female connection on the radio, SMA male on the antenna. You've got your push to talk button here. There's a monitor button, which opens the squelch. And it's not momentary. Some of the radios only open the squelch until you let go. This one, when you press it, you then have to press it again to close the squelch again. It's got inside here a jacks for headphone and microphone, and that is also a standard K-type connector that you use for programming or a mouthpiece headset sort of thing. It has a 4,400 milliamp hour battery. And I had mine on for several hours yesterday playing with it, and lasted pretty much the entire day. Actually, I didn't even run it down.
Turn on the radio 5.
Now, one nice thing, second thing I noticed after seeing how simple it is that it's got contacts for a charger, a regular plug-in set in, one of those. But it didn't come with that. Instead, it came with a USB cable with a USB-C connector for charging. So that goes into any standard USB charger. It comes with the little USB charger, and this charger has 2 USB plugs, so you can plug in and charge up both radios at the same time, and it does supply enough power to charge them both at the same time. Standard USB for charging, so you can plug it in basically to almost anything as long as it's USB-C to charge it up. As I already mentioned, the controls are very simple. There's just not much there, which is a good thing for us simple-minded ones. 5 channels.
4, 3, 2, 1.
And the radio is very simple to use. Now, the user guide. This is where I usually get the most honest when I do reviews, because most user guides are either great or they suck donkey ball. This user guide, other than being too small, so us old men like me have trouble reading it, is actually a very good user guide. It explains in detail what all the options are. It's a little bit light on explaining what or how to get to the options, because you can't change any options there. There's nothing configurable on the radio itself other than the volume and the channel. So it does mention that you need to use a PC to program it. Chirp is not compatible with this model. There is a RB17A, which I think is the GMRS version. I'm not sure. It's a different version of the same RB17. So this is the V. V stands for MURS. I tried to get it to work. It would not work. So it looks like as of now, the RB17V MURS version is not compatible with Chirp. So you would have to download the Retevis software. I didn't bother because honestly, there was no reason to. I picked it up, turned it on, started talking. Everything worked. Squelch levels. You can adjust the squelch levels and a few other options in the software, but I didn't have a need to. The manual explains what all the different options are, lists the options, and then explains what they are and what they mean very clearly. But good manual. Good job, Retevis. FCC allows 2 watts maximum on MURS radios, so it's pretty much like a FRS radio or a bubble wrap, bubble pack type radio. So let's see what happens when we put it up against the power meter. I've got my handy dandy little Surecom $40 power and SWR meter. This is the best thing. Affiliate link below. It comes with all the connectors you need to connect with most radios. It comes with a little dummy load, good for up to 5 watts. Perfect for measuring the power output of handhelds. It is also an SWR meter, although be aware, contrary to some of my older videos, you can't get a good SWR reading on a handheld. It has to do with the ground plane. It's just when you put the meter on and you extend the antenna from where it normally goes here out to here, it affects the ground plane. It's very difficult to measure the SWR on a handheld antenna, so don't bother. But we're going to test the power.
Turn on the radio 5.
Turn on the radio. All right, so I've got it on channel 5. And we'll switch the meter to wattage. Push the push to talk, and let's see what we get. 2.4 watts. That's on channel 5. Oh, that's over the limit. Don't tell the FCC. And let's go down to channel 1.
1.
And try that again. 2.3 watts. So a little bit over. I don't know if the FCC is going to get upset about that. At least it's not under. Most radios you find are lower than what they say on the box. What I'm sure everybody wants to know, though, is how far can you talk on it? And how does it compare to something like an FRS radio? So I did my worst case scenario test. This is what I do with all my handhelds, starting at 1/4 of a mile, then 1/2 a mile, then 1 mile. Most radios do not go past 1 mile in this test. In this worst case scenario, there's several rolling hills, a lot of houses, a lot of trees. I sit in my car at a specific spot, and the other radio, held by my wife, who loves to drop everything she's doing at a whim of mine and help. She sits in the house at the same spot every time. When she's doing the test, she moves other times. So she sits in the same spot every time, so that every time I do a review and a range test, it's controlled. It's almost scientific, although not scientific at all. But it's controlled. It's the same. So we're always comparing apples to apples. This is a worst case scenario test designed to emulate real world use. It is entirely possible, it is likely, that if you're out in your real world, you will get a much greater range, especially if your line of sight, less obstructions. It is also possible that your usage may get shorter distance, depending on what is between you and the other person. So in my worst case test, comparing it to a RT16 2-watt FRS radio, at a 1/4 mile distance, they performed about the same. Here's how that looked and sounded. Now we're at about 1/4 mile. Do you copy me now? 1 2 1 2.
Copy you loud and clear.
And how about on the FRS radio? Do you copy 1 2 1 2?
I copy you, but not as clear and not as loud.
Not a whole lot of difference. At a 1/2 mile distance, the Retevis, the MURS radio, had a slightly better signal than the FRS. They were both staticky, both weak, but the MURS radio did sound better, both according to my ear and my wife's ear, who again dropped everything to help me do this on a whim. Let's take a moment to thank her in the comments below. All right, we're about a 1/2 mile out, testing the Retevis first. Do you copy 1 2 1 2? And do you copy on this radio? 1 2 1 2.
I copy you.
And then at 1 mile, which most of my higher power GMRS 5-watt handheld radios can't reach, there was nothing at 1 mile. So somewhere between 1/2 mile and 1 mile, no signal at all. And it was noticeably weaker at a 1/2 mile. So who would use a radio like the Retevis RB17V MURS handheld radio? Anybody that wants a simple, easy to use radio. Not some wirehead, not somebody looking to reduce spurious RF emissions. If you even know what spurious RF emissions are, this radio is not for you. If you want something you can turn on, put it on a channel, and hand to somebody else and talk to them, this is a great radio. But the only thing it lacks is a lock button. So you don't have any way to lock it so that the idiot, your friend that you hand the radio to, if they accidentally change the channel
3.
and they're on the wrong channel, there's no way to lock it. Most radios allow you to lock it so that you can't accidentally change channels. That's the only thing. Other than that, it's extremely simple to use. Any idiot can use this radio. So that's really its selling point. Not for you, for the idiot that you're going to hand it to that you want to talk to. It's not intimidating. Nobody's ever going to pick up a radio like this and say, I'm not good with technology. I don't know. So if you're going to go hiking, take the kids to the amusement park or the fair, something where you just need a simple, reliable radio. It's not the most rugged. Don't drop it in the water, but this will get the job done. Turn it on and talk. What else do you need? If you have any questions, if I left anything out or didn't go over anything, leave a comment below. Stupid comments. As you know, I've been on a crusade against stupid comments and the stupid people that leave stupid comments, sometimes also known as trolls. I've done my best. I pin the comments, the stupid ones at the top, so everybody can make fun of them. I call out the idiots to point out when what they're saying is stupid or hateful. I delete hundreds of comments a week, dozens a day that are just too hateful, too stupid to even worth arguing over, but it's a losing battle. I feel like I'm standing at the beach and holding up my hand and trying to stop the ocean. I can stop a little bit, a little trickle with my hand by holding up my hand. It's like trying to stop a tidal wave of dumbassery with my hand. So I don't know, maybe I'll just give up, let the trolls and idiots and dickheads run wild. Leave a comment, let me know what you think. Should I bother anymore? Because it's not easy. It's killing me inside. Thank you for watching. We hope to see you on